Hey allihopa! So today we're gonna carve one of these little grumpy Santas, or Butter Tomte as I call it in Swedish. It's a fun little carve, doesn't take too long, very simple. So let's start. So we start with a block 3 times 3 times 8 centimeter, and we're gonna draw. See what side we want as the front. Take this one, and we're gonna see about the middle. Then we draw the nose. It depends on how big hat you want. You can go a little bit lower, maybe like this. And when you have the nose, you just take the hat down like this, because we want the hat to be all on top of the nose, like so. And then we just go around a bit like this, and there we have the nose and the cap, or the hat. And then just draw a bit up where we want to carve it away, where we want it to be the top of the hat. You can do it to the left or to the right. I think I'll do it to the right this time, like so. And then we're gonna have the beard coming down like so, almost straight down, and then the mustache. So he will look a little bit grumpy, but that's the whole point. And now I'm gonna take my V-tool. You can use your knife too, and just take the top of the hat around like so, and the other side like so, and the nose. And of course the beard. Something like that. Then we go around to remove, to make it a bit easier. You can of course use a knife and do stop cuts, but if you have a V-tool, it's very handy. So now we have the face, and now we're gonna take away under the hat one side, and on the other side, like so. And down. And we want to take a bit of the front of the body, so we get the beard a little bit more out from the rest. Something like that. Then just clean up. We are gonna take a bit from here, deepen it a little bit, and same on this side, just to deepen. And around the beard, so we don't get a very steep edge. And then just clean up the corners. Like so. And now we're gonna take the top of the nose, just remove the sharp edge, and the bottom of the nose. Something like that, and then take the V-tool and just deepen it a bit. around like that, and on the hat. Just carefully so you don't split the wood. Something like that. We can even just take a little bit more from the beard. Like so. And then we're gonna go around around the body. Take the corners off. Something like that. A little bit more on this side. Try to keep it even. And then just cut up and down. And remove all the saw marks. And this side. It doesn't need to be perfectly round over. I like the rough cuts, some flat spots. It looks a little bit prettier when you paint it. You see it's handmade. So as little cuts as possible. Then we want to take the V-tool by the beard, like so, to deepen it a little bit, and just take the corner off so it's not a sharp edge. So it's a bit rounded, like so. And this way, of course. Like so. There we have the base of the face, so to say, or the rough cuts of the face. Gonna remove and clean up so we don't have any extra cut marks. Like so. And then we want to do the mustache. Down like this and down like this. Then he will have a little bit of a, what you could say, deepening in the beard over there later. So now we just take the V-tool and remove. And on the other side, try to get it a little bit symmetrical. Doesn't need to be perfect, because no beard is perfect, even how much you try. Then we remove the edges of the beard here. Like so. Just clean up over here. You can clean this up a bit and clean this one up a bit. Something like that. And then we take the V-tool and just make random small V-cuts, like so. And then we're gonna remove just a bit here to get that deepening for the mouth, like so. And then we have a little mouth, and then we can take just the corner off and the corner off on this side, and then just make some small details. Like so. And there we have the face and the body, and now it's the hat. It's always the hat that is the most work. Then we're just gonna clean it up afterwards, all the small pieces in the face. So let's go and take down to the drawing mark about there, and then we take on this side down to the mark, something like that, and then just follow it. You can also do it on a bandsaw, it will be much easier, but yeah, let's make it the hard way this time. When I do many of these, I always take the hat out on the bandsaw, because it saves a lot of time and a lot of work, and this isn't the most pleasant part of wood carving, when you need to remove big parts. A little bit more on this side. If you take this down, then you just can watch from the front if it's about the same all the way, and then just remove where you need to, a bit more. And when you have done most of it, not all, but most of it, you can take and see where you want the top to be, because you're gonna carve in from this side and this side too. Then it will be thinner here and easier to carve. So we take it here, corner, corner, then middle. And same on the back. Take the corner in, and then the middle. And then we are about where we want to have it. Something like that. Now it will be easier to carve the rest. Just make it round. Then we're gonna take this corner, that corner. Then we can take corner, corner, and front. Something like that. And we want the edge to get really close here, about a millimeter or two, because then we're gonna try to follow the rim around so it gets a nice even edge on the hat. Then we have here the corner, this side, the corner, and I like the front to go in like this, and then I want the back to be like a even, what do you say, even bend here. And when I do this, I try to not focus too much to make the hat exactly the same on all the Santas. When I do it with a bandsaw, it's much easier to get them all look alike, but not totally perfect, of course. But yeah, so we want it to go over. Want it to be more on this side. So we're gonna just take something like that, more in on this side. We're gonna make a little, what to say, a little notch here that goes around the whole piece. So we're just gonna take a bit more off, and then we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a V-cut, or what do you call it? It's more of a stop cut. Because I want to take this side a bit more in, and then it's gonna go easier if you do like this. Do a little bend on the top. Something like that. And now we're gonna take the hat in on this side carefully so we don't cut it too much into this. Same here. See, something like that. And then just from the bottom and all the way up. Because we want it to go in a bit, what do you say, like a curve, not straight like this, but a little bit of a curve, like on this side. So we try to follow the edge of that, and then make a little curve like that. Then we can curve it over here too, so it becomes like a two-stage. Something like that. Take the edge. As you see on the hat, I always just, I have like a technique that I use, but I always jump a little bit from here to there to make it a bit more random, because it's fun if they are a little bit unique, not look alike, all of them. And then this side we want to take it in, like here. I might even use my smaller knife so I don't cut into the hand, even if I have a glove. I try to be a little bit careful. Let's take a bit more. The corner. Something like that. And then we always just round over the edges and clean up a little bit. When I do those small cuts on the edges here, I take my thumb and push it down. At the same time, I use this hand and pull it away. So when it goes through, it don't go straight down to the wood. And you see, sometimes I don't even get a mark down there. So I think that's a quite useful little technique to use. And now let's see the back side too, of course. Sometimes the wood goes the other direction when you come to the back side. Depends on how you cut it, and I cut all my wood myself, so I just have myself to blame if it's not in the right direction. Something like that, a little bit more on this side. Bit more in here. Something like that. Now we're gonna round these two corners, so we're just gonna take them off. You can do this in the beginning too if you want, but now when we have about how we want it to look, it's easier to just take them down and then just round it over. This side is a little bit fibbly on this one. And this corner, just round it and in a bit, so we have a little bit of a curve around the whole thing. So when I cut this piece of wood, it was a knot in the wood that I cut around, so that's why the fibers in the wood goes everywhere, it seems. And unfortunately I have a good amount of pieces that is like that now, but it's a little bit harder to carve, but it works. And now we're just gonna take the edge of the hat and put it in, so it gets even the whole way around. Like so, a bit more here. Then we want these two edges to be rounded too, so we just take the edge of the knife, or the tip of the knife, of course, and just round them down a bit. Like so. Then we remove everything. Decent cut. Something like that. We have more on the back side here. Just clean up. And here we have a little bit we can clean up. If you want, you can use the V-tool all the way around to clean it up and to make it a little bit deeper, or you can just use a knife to go around, like so. Just remove all the little imperfections. And remove all the uncarved all the uncarved sides. Something like that. And there we have a little, what do you say? Is it a Santa or is it a Santa's helper? I wouldn't say it's Santa Claus. You can also deepen these a little bit. Like so. I used to call them grumpy Santas because I think they look a little bit grumpy, like they have the cookies and milk was stolen from them. Let's go around and clean up a little bit on the edge. Something like that. I think I am happy with him there. And now we're gonna get some oil. We use linseed oil and just give him a good rub in to all the crevices. And then he's gonna stay here for about 15 minutes before we paint him. something like that. And of course I forgot, always make a little mark in the button. I think I pronounced that wrong. It's bottom, not button. Button is something else. In the bottom, of course. So yeah, a little bit more on the cap. It's in the end grain, it always soaks a bit more, so we want a little bit more oil on that. Now you're gonna stay here for 15 minutes and I'll be back. Oops. And I'll be back and we will paint the little guy. See you in a bit. And now 15 minutes have passed, so let's dry off all the excess oil. We don't want to be too much. It's quite dry now, or you have absorbed the most of it. So we take our glass plates, put him there, and we're gonna take some colors. On this one we will need some white, some red, some black, and my red is very red, so I used to mix in some brown into the red. So we will start with the red, I think. Yeah, the red. Let's get some water and some brushes. Then we take some red, like so, and then we take just a little dab of brown. Let's take a medium size brush with a little bit of brown and some water, like that, and mix it. Like so. And then we start with underneath the hat. Let's see, so we have it all mixed, something like that. Now we're gonna take the underside of the hat, just go all the way around. Try to not get some color on the nose or on the beard. Just very carefully, like so. And if we get anything on the nose and on the unwanted places, we can always just use the knife to carve it away and paint later, or paint it again. Let's take another brush. A flat brush is better to big areas. See, so I hold it so you can see, of course. Not really that used to make these on camera, but I'm trying. Something like that. Now we have the hat is red. So let him dry a bit. And we can clean this up. Meanwhile, just take some water on the paper and get everything away. And now we're gonna do the white part, the beard. Just take a little bit of white. Oops. And a little bit water. Something like that. And a small brush. And just paint. So get into all the crevices. Then we're gonna add some shadows, and after that some highlights to make it a little bit more lively. It's carefully under the nose. Something like that. And we need to decide what clothes he will have. I think I will make this one gray, so we can keep the white and just add a little bit black. Just a little bit on the side, like so, and some water to mix it out. Let's take a flat brush. Don't want him to be too dark, but not too light either. Something like that. A little bit like concrete, maybe a little bit darker. And then just take the whole way around. So the brushes I use is just random brushes bought from a little bit everywhere. Non-expensive brushes. Because sometimes I cut them to the shape I want. If I want a pointy one, I just cut it to the shape, and it will be a little bit harder to do if you spend a lot of money on the brushes. So just cheap brushes from like dollar store or some hobby equipment store. Like so. All the way around. Yeah, that's it. Now he's gonna dry a little bit more, and I'm gonna add some shadows and then some highlights. And when we add some shadows, we take just a little bit black, just something like that, very small amount. and a lot of water, because we don't want it to be too much black. We can always add some later if we want to, but it's harder to remove. I think even that is a little bit too much. Let's add some more water. Just a very, very small amount. Something like that. And then just insert into the crevices. You see it spreads almost by itself. I use a very fine brush because I just want it to go in the crevices, not all the way on the whole piece, so to say. Just want it where I want it. And a little bit under the hood or the hat. And under the nose. And as it dries, it will fade a bit more. Under the rim of the hat or the edge of the hat, and on the side of the mustache. And then we take a bit around the whole body. And because the gray color is not totally dry, you can smudge in a bit gray so it fades a little bit better. And just add some more where you want it, on the edges and under the nose. And now he needs to dry, and then we're gonna add some highlights. So be right back. And now he's dry, so we take some white and we take a makeup brush. It's very thick and fine here, so it's perfect for this application. You just soak it in with some white and take the excess off on a paper so you don't get too much. Then we're gonna start with the hat. Let's see, something like very carefully so we don't get too much. We just want him to look a little bit frosty, like he has been outside in the cold on his way somewhere. Like so. Some on the edge of the hat, not too much. You don't want to get on the nose. Like so. A little bit more on the edge. And then we can take a bit on his clothes. Just a little bit, not as much as on the hat. A little bit more on this edge. And then we can take his beard. We can take a little bit more color. Something like that, just to add a little bit highlights. And then we want to take the top of the hat. Like so. And there we have one, what do you say, one grumpy Santa. So yeah, that's all for today. And if you like the video, leave a like, and if you want more, just subscribe, and there will be some more videos in the future. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.